This is the Shambles, one of the most dangerous regions of Fargrave. The old bathhouse is to the north. We can get there via the Western Warrens, through the central plazas, or by crossing Skane Row to the east. The Shambles can be a dangerous place, but it's also where the majority of Fargrave's mortals live. Warrens and dark alleys fill the area. There are 3 main paths through the Shambles. We can take any of them to reach the bathhouse. Yes, I know 3 ways to navigate the Shambles. We need to be wary of the Vanquished if we cross the central plazas, and Boss Keizo's gang controls the Western Warrens. If we go east through Skane Row, try to avoid the Spiderkith that roost there. A group of rogue Dremora that tend to hunt in the Shambles. Some legends say no prince ever wanted them, others that they did something so awful their prince abandoned them. Enza leads the Vanquished from their hovels along the central plazas. Boss Keizo and his gang of street toughs control the Western Warrens in the Shambles. They call themselves the Errants, mortals who use threats of violence to get by. They talk tough, but back off at the first sign of a real challenge. The Spiderkith are a cruel Daedric spider people. Shalmetta and her clan, which she calls the Invisible Web, occupy the eastern section of the Shambles. Their territory is known as Skane Row. They treat anyone who ventures there as prey. Depends on the time of day, who else has passed that way recently, or any of a dozen variables. It doesn't matter to me. We're going to run into trouble somewhere along the journey. This is the Shambles, after all. Pick a direction, and I'll follow. Just that it's mostly abandoned. Hasn't been used by anyone but squatters and vagrants for years. It's isolated at the northern end of the Shambles, easy to secure and unbearably hot. The perfect location for the Dagonist leaders to plot and scheme. And I said I'd tell you, once I was sure I could trust you. Off we go! This is the Shambles, one of the most dangerous...
Off with you, Swit!
Zelfina is filled with the power of Mayroon's dagger.
See if the door is locked. That door should take us into the bathhouse, if we can open it. Locked, and with magic, damn. If the main door is sealed, let's see if we can get in through the courtyard. That door leads to the courtyard and isn't warded. Can you pick the lock? I never met a building with only a single entrance and exit. Let's look around the courtyard. There's got to be another way to get into the bathhouse. Because it's a big building, and big buildings always have multiple exits and entrances. Besides, we didn't come all this way to be defeated by a magical seal on a bathhouse door. Let's search the courtyard and find another way to get inside. Opening in the rocks. Maybe we can reach the caves below and get into the bathhouse from there. We should be able to find a way inside through the undercroft. It runs beneath the bathhouse. Another ward. I think we can get past this one, though. I have an idea. Unlike the door outside, this area contains everything we need to disrupt the magic sustaining the ward and dispel it. I've seen the Daedra use these crystals to do all sorts of things. I spotted a lucent among the debris in this hall. It's a Daedric crystal that can absorb and store the background energy that pulses through all the realms of oblivion. We'll need that to get started. Then take the lucent to the dynamis font over there. That background energy I mentioned, the font absorbs it. Place the lucent on the font, and it will fill it with the charged energy. Finally, insert the charged lucent into the discharge labrum beside the door. That will release the energy from the crystal and disrupt the ward. That's the idea, anyway. I've seen the Daedra do all sorts of things using lucents, fonts, and labrums. Remember, find a lucent, charge it in the dynamis font, then place the charged crystal in the labrum beside the door. Once you understand how lucents function, you can use them to accomplish all sorts of things throughout the realms of oblivion. As I understand it, lucents form naturally in the void and occasionally rain down on the various realms. Some say they're actually crystallized bits of oblivion. Who knows? I've seen Daedra gather them, charge them, and make use of their energy. Well, as long as you have lucents, a dynamis font, and a discharge labrum, you can use the energy to open gates, ignite furnaces, operate torture devices, all sorts of things. We're going to use it to overcharge the ward on that door and dispel it. Look, I just observed how the Daedra use them. The dynamis font is sort of like a spring. Instead of water, energy wells up. Could be an atronach trapped in there. Or maybe it's the ambient dynamism that flows through the space between the realms. I'm not a Daedric scholar, all right? I just know what I know. Dynamism. I heard the Dremora talking about it at Madame Wim's. It's what some call the energy of oblivion. Or the energy in oblivion? It's confusing, but it's energy that we can use. Basically, when you plug a charged lucent into the labrum, it releases the energy stored in the crystal. Most of the labrums I've seen are integrated into some larger mechanism. I'm not sure what this one was originally used for. You could, but you'd also get a destructive explosion. Better to control the release by using the labrum. Besides, the lucents can be used over and over again, but not if you shatter them. That's definitely a lucent. Now take the lucent to the dynamis font. Place the lucent in the dynamis font, and it should fill it with energy. That did it. Look how the crystal crackles with energy. Now place it on the labrum. Insert the charged crystal into the labrum. It worked! And now you know how to use a charged lucent. Let's see what's behind that door. They're glowing again.
I see my spell brought the help I requested, but I didn't expect there to be more than one of you.
I assume that's Lyrinth the Dremora, which is why our hands are glowing again, I guess. You talk to her. Find out why she didn't wait for us at the original meeting site, and see if she knows any more about the votive runes.
Ah, my simple spell finally yields results. I was hoping it would bring you to me again, little mortal. I do so appreciate working with known quantities. But who is this other immortal who also carries my glowing brand upon their flesh? The Anchorite. An unusual appellation, even for a mortal. You must be wondering why I summoned you and then failed to be on hand to greet you. When I heard that Sister Saldina had arrived at their headquarters in the Shambles, I had to act quickly. You can plainly see that I did not. Finding this location took more time than I expected, and even then, getting inside has proven difficult. But now that we're together, I suspect we can make short work of any obstacles and locate Sister Saldina. My reasons are my own, little mortal. Suffice it to say, I want to determine how Sister Saldina plans to utilize the votive runes to seize control of Fargrave. She wants to use its many portals as a gateway between the Deadlands and Nirn. Even a Dremora of my talents cannot hope to stand alone against the Dagonists and an army of living disasters. I seek to learn Sister Saldina's secrets. You want to protect the mortal realm from total destruction. Together, we can accomplish both. She's smart and ruthless. A powerful combination in a mortal. She commands the Dagonists here in Fargrave and oversaw the creation of the Cataclysm. With that device, she plans to create an army of living disasters to unleash upon Nirn. Daedra empowered to unleash destruction upon the mortal realm and make it easier for Mehrunes Dagon to conquer Nirn. Did you know he's tried before? Dagon broke an agreement, and the doors between the Deadlands and Nirn were sealed. He can't use them. Sotha Seal, one of the so-called living gods of the Dark Elves, supposedly made a pact with various Daedric princes to protect Nirn. I don't know the details, but Dagon broke the pact. Sotha Seal slammed the doors and closed off Dagon's connections. Everything about Sotha Seal's pact is rumor and speculation, so that is what I hope to determine. And I want to examine the Cataclysm. The attack on Fargrave could begin at any moment. Shall we enter the next area and see what Saldina is up to?
The glow. It vanished again.
The spell has run its course. The glow will not return. Now, to deal with this ward. Come, I sense activity in the chamber beyond.
Let's find Sister Saldina and determine the exact nature of her plan to take over Fargrave. I want to figure out how to stop her votive runes before they harm any more of the city's mortal population.
The Dremora again. Well, you're too late. The ritual is almost complete. Dagon's blessing reverberates among the votive runes. Soon a wave of destruction will sweep over Fargrave and destroy the Daedra.
That was a bit of a walk. What's happening to us?
Mortal, destroy the votive runes!
Dagon himself taught me this ritual. Wicked flame, protect the votive runes! All that work, ruined! You will pay for that, Dremora. You and your companions both.
Sister Seldina got away, and we're right back where we started. Nowhere.
Nowhere? How quickly mortals succumb to despair. Let's talk in the next room. Take a moment to look around. Sister Seldina departed in haste. Certainly she left something behind.
All that, and we let Sister Seldina get away. Well, if Lyranth thinks there's some way we can salvage this debacle, I'm all ears. Talk to her, and see what she's got in mind.
I did not think Sister Seldina capable of performing such a powerful ritual. You did well, mortal. A few more moments and the magic would have exploded across Fargrave, leaving the city defenseless and destroying all of the Daedra, including me. Yes, but she fled in haste. That means she probably left something behind. Let's search this bathhouse. Bring me whatever you find. Sister Seldina's abandoned paraphernalia may be of use to me, and it may tell you more about the threat to Nirn. From what I could devise, the votives elevated the emotions of mortals in the city, siphoning the energy generated into Sister Seldina's ritual. She planned to use that energy to destroy the Daedra, including the Grasp, leaving the city defenseless. That would accomplish nothing. The Daegonists are experts when it comes to disappearing into the shadows. Sister Seldina will pay for her various insults soon enough. For now, see what she left behind when she fled. What did you find, little mortal? Tell me what you found, and I shall determine if it has any significance to my quest, or to yours. Nor can I. And while your literacy may be in question, mine certainly is not. This is no language, mortal or Daedric. It is written in code, one used by the Daegonists for their more guarded correspondence. No, and neither could any lowly recruit we captured off the streets and tortured for information. This code is reserved for the Order's elite. We'll need to find someone who can decipher it. I'm sure Fargrave must have someone with those skills. We should leave. The cult's forces may have scattered, but no doubt Sister Seldina will send a force to try to deal with us. We should not be here when they arrive. Perhaps the Anchorite can suggest a place for us to meet up, safe from prying eyes. What I seek still eludes my grasp, so our business is not yet concluded. You ought to be grateful. I can be a powerful ally, when the mood strikes me. I will meet you back in Fargrave. I'm sure the Anchorite knows someone who can decipher the code.
Let's meet at the inn in Fargrave. Bearer's Rest. We can talk privately there. We can meet up at the Bearer's Rest. It's the largest inn in Fargrave. Because of the crowds, we can talk safely there without fear of being overheard.
Get back, you fetcher!
still here. Thanks for asking. So you really came all this way to stop the waking flame from destroying Fargrave?
Something like that. An unusual city, Fargrave. They say those huge skeletons are all that remains of the beings that once carried it from place to place. This inn is named after them, I believe. But why are you speaking to me? Ask the anchorite about a codebreaker.
I don't know what I expected, but it wasn't that. Finding the leader of the cult, watching as she almost completed a deadly ritual, and then allowing her to escape. I never fail like that. And all we have for our trouble is a coded message. Maybe. This is Fargrave, after all. The city connects to everywhere. Madam Wim must know someone here who can help us with that. In the meantime, we made a deal, and I always honor my commitments. Here, you earned this, my friend.
Little mortal, attend me. We have unfinished business, mortal. The encoded message you recovered from the bathhouse. That may be the key to determining the Waking Flame's next move and revealing the secrets I'm searching for. We must find someone who can decipher it. The masked mortal has the right idea. Fargrave sits on the threshold to everywhere. If there exists a being who can decipher this code, we will find them here. I'd prefer it if we could find someone other than Madam Wim to deal with, however. I have heard of the infamous Mazkin who calls herself Madam Wim. I find her practice of turning gossip into profit to be loathsome. But even a filthy Daedrat has its uses, I suppose. Take the note to her and pay whatever it costs for a translation. Go to Madam Wim's establishment, the House of Wims. Show her the encoded note and tell her we need it deciphered. I will meet you there. To make sure we have her undivided attention, and that she understands this is more than a mortal's request. We know of each other. Perhaps our paths have crossed over the millennia, perhaps not. Wim has changed her name and appearance multiple times, or so I've heard. I have no doubt she will do so again, when Fargrave no longer amuses her. You saw what I saw when we first encountered Sister Seldina at the Waking Flame Conclave. Her infernal device can transform Daedra into incarnates, living disasters of immense power. They threaten Nirn, so you should hope I learn everything I can. We learned that Sister Seldina tried to use the votive runes to steal power from the mortals. Power she hoped would destroy the Daedra and allow her to conquer Fargrave. We stopped that plot, but this realm's many portals are too enticing to ignore. They are persistent, if nothing else, these Dagonists. If they truly want to unleash their incarnates on Nirn, using Fargrave's portals makes the most sense. The hope, slender though it may be, is that the encoded note will tell us more.
I'll meet you at the House of Whims. I can help with the negotiations. I'll go with you to Madame Whims too. She knows me, and I can smooth over any rough spots once Lyranth and her begin negotiating. Have you ever witnessed a negotiation between Daedra? It can get intense. I've only just met her, and I can already tell that Lyranth thinks very highly of herself. That's not an uncommon trait among the greater Daedra. And when two or more prominent Daedra come together, their every action becomes a battle for supremacy. It can be. Depends on which types of Daedra we're talking about. Thanks to the stricture, most such negotiations here in Fargrave remain at the hypothetical level. A battle of words and posturing to determine dominance. It's almost ritualistic. It's a code of sorts, a magical covenant that binds the Daedra and allows them to operate in neutral territory without the need for a centralized leadership. When the bounds of the covenant slip, that's when the grasp of the stricture steps in. Kind of. More like arbiters that maintain the peace among the Daedra. They have no love of mortals, however. Since we're not bound by the stricture, they consider us with suspicion, and even outright hostility. They're sure we're guilty of something.
An honor to assist you in any way I can.
An honor, yes. Mortals, show Whim the note.
Oh, darling. How good of you to once again grace my fine establishment. And I see that my information proved useful. You found Lyranth. Another customer, satisfied and content. Now, what can Madame Whim do for you this time? While I have many, many talents, deciphering written codes concocted by fanatical mortals is not among them. Are you sure I can't interest you in something a little more luscious? No? Pity. Very well. I may know someone who can help you. You wound me. I thought we were becoming friends. Talk to Gazmod the Collector. His villa on the west side of town contains quite the accumulation of Dagonic paraphernalia. Something in his collection should help, provided you can catch his eye. You owe absolutely nothing, my darling. Lyranth agreed to cover your cost for this bit of inside information. Isn't she a dear? Now, do tell Gazmod that we miss them here at the House of Whims. The place hasn't been the same without them. Oh, don't concern yourself with that, dearest one. I never ask for more than a client can afford. There's no profit in that. When you have time, come back and let Madame Whim show you some of the wares that have made her the talk of Oblivion.
Go downstairs and rouse the anchorite. We'll want her with us when we talk to this collector. Meanwhile, I need to conclude our business here.
Conclude our business? How I love the sound of that. It makes me all a twitter.
I'm not here to play games, Whim.
But games are some of my favorite activities, dear Lyranth. Come, let me show you what the House of Whims has to offer.
The anchorite claimed she was going to assist with our negotiations, but she allowed the temptations of this den of iniquity to distract her. Rouse her from her indulgences, and see if she is familiar with this Gazmod the Collector. It cost you nothing, mortal. As for what I paid, I'd rather not discuss it.
You owe absolutely nothing, my darling. Lyrinth agreed to cover your cost for this bit of inside information, isn't she? You owe
Was Madam Wim helpful? Grab a drink and tell me all about it. I know I said I was going to help with the negotiations, but look, I don't want to talk about it. Some things are private, personal. You can't just walk up and demand I tell you my deepest, darkest secrets. Sorry. I agreed to talk about my name, my mask, everything. After you proved yourself, and you've certainly done that. When we first met, you asked about my name. Madam Wim gave it to me. I just arrived in Fargrave, and everything before that exact moment was gone. All I had was this mask. I didn't know who I was or where I came from. Still don't. Just one of Madam Wim's little jokes. Means I'm a recluse, a hermit, living a life of seclusion behind a mask I can't remove. Sometimes it feels like memories are stirring deep inside my mind. When that happens, I need a distraction. Because it feels like there's a war raging inside my skull. A war I can't win. Better to drink or whatever. Push them back down to stop the pain behind my eyes. That's my story. At least as much as I know. Now, tell me what Madam Wim said. I've heard of the Collector. Has a villa on the west side of the city. Never met them personally, but I assume they're some sort of Daedra. Makes sense considering their influence and where they live. I'll meet you there. I'll finish this and meet you at the Collector's villa. It's on the west side, in a neighborhood that's strictly Daedric. So be careful, and watch your step until I get there. Where else was I to go? I assumed I awoke in Fargrave for a reason. I stayed to find that reason. And to see if whoever left me here would one day return. Regardless, the city and its people quickly captured my heart, especially the mortals. Another label assigned by Madam Wim. Stay in her orbit long enough and you'll collect a dozen appellations. I can't stand to see anyone go hungry or be taken advantage of. I try to help and don't ask anything in return. Wim sees that as a weakness. Bits and pieces, but when the memories stir, the pain kicks in. If I try to focus on them, actually make sense of them, the mask burns? It hurts me, like it doesn't want me to remember. Someday, I'll look into those blank spaces, but not today.
Time to go, little mortals.
To the Collector's villa, as soon as I finish my drink.
Go. We will catch up. I want to hear more about the anchorite's missing memories.
This mask It intrigues. It must become a part of Gazmod's collection.
Friend? Why don't you talk to the Collector? So, Gazmod the Collector is a Watcher, hmm? Never met one before. At least, I don't think I have. Quick, ask them about a way to decipher the code. Get them thinking about something, anything, other than adding me and my mask to their collection.
A Watcher. I could never abide these abominations. You speak to the Collector and determine if they have anything in their collection that can assist us.
It approaches. It dares speak. Will it offer the mask to compensate for such insults? It invokes Madam Wynn. Wants what belongs to Gazmod and Gazmod alone. It is presumptuous. Leave our gaze. Gazmod no longer wants to look upon it.
I meant no insult by having my mortal speak to you, Collector. We merely seek to borrow a Daganic codebreaker.
Since you're clearly interested, I'll allow you to examine my mask.
No, the Arox must not leave the gallery. But Gazmod will peer at its mask. This way, mask wearer.
Come, little mortal. We must find the Arox. Perhaps the gallery is beyond that door. The Collector let slip that they have a codebreaker called the Arox. We must find it. It appears not all of Gazmod's collection consists of relics.
It dares enter our collection. Does it not know we see through many eyes?
An arboretum? This collection is not at all what I imagined.
Is that the last of them? Oh, thank feck.
Our collection is as dangerous as it is beautiful.
You lead.
Perhaps the Daganic relics lie beyond that door. This gallery contains but a single display. See what it is, mortal.
I am Arox the Mutilator, terror of the Deadlands. Release me from this cage and I will grant you a boon, mortal.
The relic is a talking Daedrat? Mortal, release the vermin. It appears we were seeking not a what, but a who. Release the Daedrat. Determine if it can actually help us decipher the coded message.
Arox the Mutilator is a Daedrat of his word. At least currently. Release me and I will do anything in my power to aid your cause. You do have a cause that needs aiding, don't you? Sweet freedom at long last! Arox owes you for this kind indulgence. You have set Arox free! Free! Arox owes you a debt of honor, and Arox will pay it, no matter how long it takes. You have my word. But pray tell, who do I owe this enormous debt of gratitude to? Question not this pitiable form, mortal, for within it beats the heart of the terror of the Deadlands, the sunderer of the seven skies, and the warrior of the floating wastes. I am Arox the Mutilator! And yes, I currently occupy this Daedrat body. Taken in codes. Easy as ripping the ears off a banekin. Arox is fluent in the many tongues of the Deadlands. No code can hide its meaning from the Mutilator's eyes. Speaking of eyes, we should leave this place before the Collector looks this way. I have already pledged to honor my debt to you. I will decipher every scroll in the Tower of Lord Dagon's Viscount Scrivener, if that is what you desire. I swear my fealty to you, mortal master. My life and my skills are yours to command. With pleasure, mortal master.
Congratulations, mortal. You are now the proud owner of a filthy, oblivion, flea-infested Daedrat. It talks. Let us hope it can actually do what it says and decipher the encoded note. Now we should find the anchorite and depart this place.
Your pack is perfect, Master. And I found the encoded note. I will work on translating it forthwith.
We have a Daedrat. Wonderful. Now let's find the anchorite and depart this place.
Gazmod sees the intruders. Now we shall demonstrate the power of our collection. Perhaps they will amuse us as our collection destroys them. It tries our patience. This monstrosity will destroy it.
Quickly, through the door and find the anchorite before the Collector returns.
Hey, a little help here? That floating sack of eyes wants to make me a permanent part of their collection. Thanks. Let's get out of here and return to Madam Wim's.
Master! Arox has deciphered the note. Daedric troops from Burning Gyre Keep in the Deadlands are preparing to invade Fargrave.
Well done, Rat. Mortal, find out what else the note contains.
That Daedrat talks? I'm still coming to grips with the fact that you're getting vital information from a talking Daedrat, so don't look at me. Find out what else the encoded note said. And maybe Lyrinth knows something about Burning Gyre Keep.
If what the Daedrat says is accurate, then the danger to Fargrave is far from over. The forces of Burning Gyre Keep stand as some of the most fearsome of Mehrunes Dagon's warriors.
I've heard the Dagonists have been largely driven from the city.
Frey considers this...
Master! Arox has deciphered the note. Daedric troops from Burning Gyre Keep in the Deadlands are preparing to invade Fargrave.
Well done, Rat. Mortal, find out what else the note contains.
That Daedrat talks?
Did you hear what I said, Mortal Master? Volcanos Nokvraz prepares to send the most fearsome Daedric troops in all the Deadlands to this Nexus city. The destruction will be glorious! It is addressed to some despicable cur named Sister Seldina. A weak-sounding mortal name if ever I heard one. Why one of Mehrunes Dagon's most powerful warlords, not as powerful as Arox, mind you, would deign to aid a weak-named mortal baffles me. Yes, right. Troops stand ready at Burning Gyre Keep. Send word when Fargrave's defenses fall, and the invasion will begin. Dremora blades will take the city, not your incarnates. That is every word, Mortal Master, whose name is in no way weak. Let us make haste, Master.
An excellent idea, Mortal. Use the Plaza of Portals to reach the Deadlands. We'll rendezvous at Burning Gyre Keep. I applaud your initiative, little mortal, but the Deadlands will test us all. Mehrunes Dagon and his ilk revel in destruction and constant warfare. Maintain your vigilance at all times. We will meet near the keep, provided we survive the journey. The place isn't exactly a secret. At least not to those of us who wander the many realms of oblivion. The reputation of the Keep's warriors is such that other princes often hire them out to accomplish impossible missions. If I open a portal, it could alert Nokvraz to my presence. Better to take advantage of Fargrave's Plaza of Portals, and use one of the permanent gateways between this plane and the Deadlands. The portal to the burn should get us close to the Keep.
I want to protect the city as much as the next Fargravian, but marching into the Deadlands... Oh well, I suppose we all have to die sometime. Except for Lyrinth and Arox. They can't be killed, just inconvenienced for a while.
Back again? Why is it that mortals can't seem to get enough of what Madam Whim has to offer? My establishment and its many wonders are always available, for the right price.
This place smells wonderful, Master. Like weapons after a battle.
What in oblivion was that?
Great power was just unleashed inside the keep. Hurry, mortals. We must see what's going on inside. An incredible amount of energy was just unleashed within the keep. Whatever just happened, little mortal, be assured it does not bode well for Fargrave or Nirn. Or for us, for that matter. We must go inside, but maintain your caution.
What was that? It sounded like something exploded in there. We need to get in there and see what's going on.